That way give you a general idea of what it would be like for a blind person standing right where I am to interact and experience this program. So, start. So one of our most general commands that we have is called describe, and it's going to give a general description of the contents of this room based off of my word limit. I set it at 15, and for all of us, we've decided that 15 is a pretty good word limit for what we all can handle. Describe.
This is the classroom. There are 2 groups of chairs in front of you.
Okay. Then, so we also have, because our word limit is so small, if we want to know more about where we are, we're going to say describe more command. Describe more.
This is the classroom. There are 2 groups of chairs in front of you.
Alright. Sorry. My voice recognition got off there a little bit. Describe more.
There are 3 exits in this room and a group of computers.
Alright. How about describe exits? Describe exits.
There is one in front of you and one behind you to the left.
Alright. How about like, somebody give me something that they want me to describe. Something Sure.
Shares?
Sure, okay. Describe shares.
There are 60 chairs. They are in 2 groups in front of you.
Describe more.
The chairs are not very comfortable.
The phone does not lie. Okay. So a little bit of the obstacles. So how about describe obstacles? Describe obstacles.
There is an obstacle to the right of you, and 2 very large obstacles in front of you.
Talking about the chairs. All right. And then lastly, a little bit of research from the previous semesters where we did some pathfinding that we also implemented in here. It's to help navigate through the room just a little bit. So what if I wanted to find my closest exit? Find exit.
Turn around and keep the wall to your left until you find the exit.
All right. Well, I'm gonna stop the demo just there. And if you guys want to see a little more or interact with it, feel free to stop by our booth during lunch or later on today. But I just want to go a little bit into sort of the future applications that we could use for this program. Now, who here has ever been to like a Walmart and they're like trying to find socks, or they're trying to find like Tic Tacs? Like trying to navigate your way through a huge store sometimes can be very daunting, and you're wasting a lot of time just wandering around. And how great would it be just to say, like find socks, find pants, or use something like that in your Walmart and to be able to direct you there very clearly. Or what about like in gaming? A lot of us play video games, and we're always looking for the new future and way to interact with games and make them more compelling. So if we use something like this system where we could essentially put the user in a situation where they know nothing about their surroundings, they could ask things about it in a very interesting and unique way. So that's going to conclude pretty much the presentation that we prepared for you. INFOmap, again, my name is Kevin Grant. This is Alex Tam and Angela Prophet. But before we go, I just got one more thing. I wanted to do some shout-outs and give some thank yous. First, to a good friend of ours, his name is Anderson Helms, and he helped us do all of our logo and branding for this product. He did a lot of our videos and helped it get it to where it is right now. We'd also like to thank Navid a lot. Navid helped us a lot in his last few semesters in structuring our program and making sure that everything works properly, and just gives us a lot of advice and help. Dr. Daskaloo, and I don't see him here today, but he's been a great mentor over the last few semesters, and he's always been there for us, and he's very encouraging, and we're just wanted to make sure that he knows that we appreciate what he's done for us. And lastly, our facilitator, Dr. Elke Vollmer, and Elke has been our advisor on this project for the last 2 or 3 semesters, and he's given us the inspiration and the guidance on what to create for this project. But while doing so, has let us have the freedom that we need to create what we feel would be a very effective and fun program to develop. with all that said, I'd like to open the floor to questions, and please bring them on. We love questions. Sure, right, Pat?
So when you guys give voice commands, I saw that sometimes it didn't work. Do you have any sort of error message that is voice recognition, or that gives out a voice command saying there is an error in recognizing speech, or is it just, yeah?
Currently, if the voice command isn't recognized, it won't do anything. In the future, we want to provide some sort of feedback to the user that the command actually was not received.
Have you guys thought about the user uploaded data, like how they address the challenge of like a room like this, like constantly, changing the setup every day based on who's using it?
Sure, that was an excellent question. Basically, he asked, like, if this room changes on a daily basis, which it really does, how is that going to affect our program? And unfortunately, with user uploaded data, and specifically in a room that has so many different purposes, that it's going to be very difficult to try and illustrate what the purpose of this room is. To tackle that, we're basically going to have an area in our program that will let you know that this room has multi-purposes and that it may have changed since the last time it was used.
Right, it doesn't replace the white cane, so they won't hurt themselves if we put chairs in the middle of the room and the map says there's no chairs.
Thank you. Sure.
How do you manage the connections from the mobile phone to the server? Like, for example, is there like some sort of attestation mechanism, or can any phone connect to some arbitrary server? And also, if the phone happens to not have internet, if it's down or something, is there anything that's stored locally, like cached on the phone, so that the person can still use it?
Yeah, absolutely. So what the earlier video illustrated is that we asked the user asks the phone a question, and it queries the server. Now when it queries the server, it preloads the cache of the map data. So all of the map is then locally stored on the phone and then deleted after it's no longer needed. So we keep as much data on the phone as we can without overloading the system too much. In the case where you do lose connectivity, it's going to be really complicated, but hopefully in the future when cell phone carriers and the wireless networks become better, it'll become less of a problem. Thank you.
How much is this going to cost?
Oh, that's an interesting question. We actually didn't talk about pricing models, but assuming that we could get a product to ship, we would want to keep it very low cost, because blind users have enough of a problem affording a phone that could run this sort of program. And then on top of being able to afford this phone, they have their living expenses are so high that we don't want to tax them with an extra couple $100 for a program to help them out. Thank you.
Could INFOmap be used for visually impaired people to navigate virtual worlds such as playing games, video games?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things that we had some brief research on was there's research done on the university here in Second Life, and a lot of the algorithms and some of the things that we've implemented have come from the ideas that had stemmed from this Second Life. And hopefully we want to be able to use that and implement the systems that we have now into the Second Life software. Thank you. Sure.
Are you using the GPS capability of the Android?
Well, the GPS only works outdoors. Once you go inside a building, we have to rely on using the accelerometer to detect how far they walk into the building. But the GPS will locate them to the closest entrance, and then we can track them through the building using the accelerometer.
With the way he does is a thumbs up, thumbs down thing, can you implement something so the actual blind user would know how accurate the room is?
Currently, we haven't actually implemented the thumbs up, thumbs down system because of we don't have a lot of people using it. And so for right now, all of the data that we have, we assume to be 100% accurate. Once it gets full-fledged, we're going to have to brainstorm and come up with a better idea to actually portray the accuracy of the information to the blind user.
All right, thank you so much. Give these guys some applause.